This is Marvyne Jenoff making a recording for the Arts and Letters Club. This is May 2023. I'll be reading from my book, Climbing the Rain, my collection of poetry, which came out with Silver Bow Publishing last year, 2022. My first book was published in 1972, so I've had a long career, and many of the poems in this book are from the point of view of age. The first very small poem, which is a kind of epigraph called Climbing the Rain, is this. Rain falls from what beginning? I rise toward what end? The next poem I'm going to read is called A is For. A is for what ails us and for aimlessness, the twins of aging. I'll read those few lines again. The word twins is important. A is for what ails us and for aimlessness, the twins of aging. Ailments assail us. Aimlessness can be achieved. A is for anxiety when you're a child. Then it becomes angst. Now it's anxiety again. Therefore, aspire to aimlessness. Encourage it on weekends, free from medical appointments. Imagine being airborne as long as you wish, alone in a silent, spacious airplane without the airplane. You've achieved aimlessness. Make aimlessness the stronger twin. From it arises articulateness, amiability, affection, and A is for and, better than end. This one is Sky Blue Umbrellas. Late summer day, my subway train speeds toward our timeless afternoon. We greet and, cane-assisted, make our way. You have new dangly earrings. Delicate wristwatches we wear and scarves, I in a flowered one to foil the season's turning, you, the scholar, in a print that might be ancient symbols. Here we are lunching on the fenced-back patio. Flowers and trees protect us from the city, not so ancient city, noisily borne ahead by the news of the world. Out here, where no TV insists upon the presence, we analyze Victoria, Guinevere, Cleopatra. The colored gossip fills balloons rising above sky blue umbrellas with their flimsy shade, and dissipating up to where we in another time may meet them. Meanwhile, we, the source, the ballast, pay our bills, rise carefully from the table, scarves flamboyant in the breeze leads us elsewhere for still more tea, perhaps dessert. I write in various genres, and here are two that are different. This is called It Wishes. It wishes to happen, it hovers aloft, how lusty and soft, now soaring, now flitting, it wishes, it winks, how wisely it tingles o'er wrinkles and hair, it hums everywhere. It widens with weather, it narrows with wit, it tingles with wishing, O wild wondrous it. How nicely it whistles, how sweetly it nestles, O happily happen, O happen to me. This one is called Ever. Whether lover, whether other, whether either, neither knows. How the nose discovers feather, how the lips discover leisure, love can rival thorn and rose, rival how the weather blows. Whether either, whether neither, winter hovers into spring, summer's coming any ever, summer lovers everything. Flying into Vancouver. I was once on a flight to Vancouver, and as the plane was approaching the airport, I saw the sky and the mountains, of course, and the trees below that. But I was surprised and dismayed to see between the mountains and the trees a white band of high-rise buildings. So this is flying into Vancouver. Mountains are higher than hotels. Hotels are higher than trees. Mountains are older than trees. Trees are older than me. I am older than the hotel. Hotels are built to forget, but trees remember. Was my birth year good for you, with a nice thick growth ring? The mountains sit there, shedding snow. Down below the water doodles, prattles, saying nothing. Trees enter my lone room. We thrive, we tangle. There's a section here called The Day She Never Saw the Weather, and these are memorial poems. The first one, The Day She Never Saw the Weather, is in memory of a young woman named Jan, whom I never met. I know nothing more about her except that she worked with a friend of mine who felt protective toward her, and he told me that this is what had happened. So the basis is true, the details are different. That day she never saw the weather, nor heard her husband say, "I've left your eggs in the frying pan. Don't forget to feed your animals." She pulled on one sock under her nightgown and, looking for the other, nibbled a handful of spaghetti from the fridge. That day she never saw the weather friendly at the window, for inside the house they were paying off was far too large and cold, and she was 25 years old. And looking for the other sock, chewed one by one, and didn't read the label, a handful of pills. Felt at her ankle dogs' and cats' mealtime affection. So they all went into the closet to find Teddy Bear. She was saving him all this time, and the one-eyed doll and blankets. Packed an egg and spaghetti picnic in the wastebasket, remembered the ketchup. She gathered them all into the little yellow rabbit in the garage, whatever the weather, started the motor, and they all brightly, softly fell down. This one is order. The details are untrue. The feeling is true. Father stayed in the coal mine. Mother stayed in the well. I have no home, no womb, no pain, no song. I count and spell. About 5 years ago, I fell and broke my leg in a complicated way. And while I was in rehab, I had a good time. I had my tablet with me. I was on painkillers when necessary, and I was able to write. When I fell, it was in the home of friends, and I fell onto their living room carpet. The family visited me in rehab, and the man said for a moment he was afraid my head would hit the fish tank. So this poem is Fish Tank. Suppose, as I fell, my head had hit the fish tank. Broken off glass corner deep in the side of my skull, familiar, like migraine. Soothed by the slightly warm fish temperature water, rivering onto the pale carpet, over the shards of glass and over me. The water spilling carnivals of fish to tumble over my thick blood and flex themselves for freedom. The spotted, striped, spectacularly finned, oh, let me see their colors while I can. Fish off to find their ocean, my ocean finding me. The series of poems I wrote about my fracture, the series is called Bones Business. And the last of this series of 13 or 14 poems is called Bones Full Business, and it's a poem of returning home to my partner. When you gallantly extend your hand to me, I'm home, no longer need that kind of help. The gesture fulfills our months of stilted phone calls, emails inadequate to our true connection. When you extend your hand to me in invitation, fingers near touching, Michelangelo's great painting comes to mind, those reaching, robust limbs, God gently giving life to Adam. It doesn't matter which is which, we're all reclining. It's our bones that bear us closer, brace and release us into each other's warmth. Surely this is the bones' full business. What good is talk unless we also feel each other's rise and fall of breath? And what good breath without familiar touch, or touch unless we move and move toward dance? No one thinks of the bones implied inside those faraway painted limbs, bearers of life. Our bones too claim privacy, hidden, ready for business, inside our waking limbs where they belong. That poem segues into other elder love poems. And this one is called Potatoes. A startling gift, potatoes. A 10-pound bag of potatoes in my one-person kitchen. You're going to cook them, soothe my aging stomach. Potatoes. No mellifluous name, nor graceful shape, nor fetching color. Color subtle as the earth. That's something. No musical romance of pasta, nor widespread dignity of rice. Plainness straight from the earth, land of our birth. That's something. You select two, and side by side we work. I sort of rinse them. Water brightens the brown, makes visible a network pattern, rootlets or tiny fissures opening for growth. You, no nonsense, scrub till you wear off the peel, reveal the color of my skin. Networks of gray thatch define your shins. Microwave allows 6 minutes for a still embrace, another 2 while the potatoes cool till you retrieve them. Small table, water glasses clink, toes touch, yogurt is passed, and yes, the potato you have tamed to softness after all does soothe my stomach, gentle aftertaste of earth. This is Elder Sleepover, and I'd like to remind you that all the things that happen in old age are true, but they don't all happen at the same time. So, Elder Sleepover. Why didn't we think of this before? Our languorous afternoon, of course, but then? You come prepared, your own water filter, your goatweed tea, your steel-cut oats, peaches and chocolate for me. Why didn't we think of this before? My evenings, pink pill from the foil pack before dinner, don't lie down for 2 hours. 2 different pills with a glass of water. Don't lie down for another half hour. 10 o'clock, hearing aids out, bite guard in, thumb brace on. And here you are, your jaw trussed up in your pale blue anti-snoring gear. Shy as strangers, we sleep side by side. I wake, as I sometimes do. I could breathe deep to fall asleep again, or, grinning that you're here beside me, tease this visit into a poem. Can it be you hear me thinking? A muffled syllable from you, murmur from me, and oh, the thrill of the octave difference in our voices in the dark, our reaching hands. I'm going to end with this poem. It's called Square Lullaby, Yonge and Eglinton. Now, I live near Yonge and Eglinton. This is the intersection where there's a new subway supposedly going in. There's been construction on the streets for more than 5 years. I live in a medium-rise building surrounded now by high-rises, and on my roof there's a roof garden, and that's where this poem takes place. Excuse me. Square Lullaby, Yonge and Eglinton. Upon the expanse of gravelled roof, a little garden in a square of bricks. shape shadowed by the lushly watered greens. The haze of daisies and their August friends bloom full in their semi-season. Chocolate has no season. Chosen daily from the mall across the street, then home to an indoor pleasure where the quiet enhances whispers of the wrapper and the savoring of the little squares one by one or two by two into the evening. Large square roof to see the sunset from, and south beyond the nurturing mall, the intersection marked by zebra crossings. Once they were square, now skewed long-term while the bright new subway line goes in, done any day now. North, encroaching just in spitting distance, giant square tower already higher than this roof, grows one floor weakly, concrete walls, may the dusk obscure it. Dusk that soothes the humming city and surrounds more quietly this roof, where now the hushing flowers darken to a square of fragrance. Little square garden, square tiled path over the gravel, square window in the door, last square of chocolate, squarish room, squarish bed, and so to sleep.